Okay. So we're recording. Hello, good afternoon, Tim Randall from Links Magazines, kitchen table, centre of Tavistock, reporting. Lovely sunny weather out there. But at the moment, I'm with a gentleman called Mark Nichols from Red House Mysteries. And hello, Mark.
Hello. Hi.
Now, this I've been looking forward to this one because this is an interesting one. This is if you've ever heard of locked rooms or that kind of mystery locked room sort of experience, then Mark and his business partner are the people for you. Now, you operate, I think, in Exeter and Torquay.
That's correct. Yeah. So we got two branches.
Two branches, okay. So I think the first thing, without further ado, Mark, tell us what it is that you do and what the experience is for people.
Okay, so as you said, locked rooms, and on a simple level, we lock you away for an hour and you have to escape. We try and obviously go for interesting themed rooms. So one of our games is a private detective's office where you're trapped in the private detective's office. You have to prove that the private detective is innocent and solve all the mysteries. So there's kind of puzzle elements, but there's also a mystery element. We have one in Exeter where you have to rob a museum. So you actually have to break into the museum, steal something, and then get out by solving all the puzzles. In Torquay, we've got a mystery in a train where you're trapped on a train, and one that is set in the 80s, very Stranger Things inspired. And a young lad's gone missing, and you've got to solve all the puzzles and work out what's happened to him. So the idea is you get an hour, a team of anywhere from 2 to 6 people, locked up for this hour, and you work your way through all the puzzles, and then hopefully at the end, touch wood, you get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do many people get out, or do you have to let them out?
It's a mixture. So some of our rooms are a bit easier, some are a bit harder. We always kind of aim for kind of 60 to 70% escape rate. So you know, we like it to be challenging. Nobody wants to just, get out in 20 minutes. You want to get your hours worth. We actually think you have the most fun if you get out in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah. I was reading on your website. Have you got one that's set in Torquay Museum?
So that's actually a slightly different game. So the museum approached us a couple of years ago and said, can you build us an escape room in one of the little side rooms? And we said, yeah, we can do that. And then we started having a look around the museum. But because they said they wanted to run it after hours, we kind of said to them, like, yeah, we can build you a little escape room in that side room, but it's after hours. You've got a whole museum here. Like, that's really cool. So we ended up actually writing a kind of crime scene investigation mystery game. It takes 2 hours, and you go explore the whole museum, looking at crime scenes, looking at all the evidence, and you have to figure out who has robbed the museum and murdered the security guard.
How fantastic.
Exactly, it's good fun. I mean, that's the thing, is like, it was kind of a boyhood dream. I always, museums are always interesting and cool, particularly the idea of one at night after everyone's gone home.
After hours, yes, after hours.
Yeah, getting to explore that in the dark and the kind of with music playing and all moody and pretending with detectives. It's pretty cool, we think.
What a wonderful idea. All right, so clearly we've all been in lockdown. Your business is locking people up. But anyway, so we're in lockdown, so you've not been able to operate those two sites obviously during lockdown, but you have, and I discovered it on your website, you have this thing called the Rising Water. So tell us a little bit about that.
So again, it's a detective game, but this one is quite nice that it's played entirely from home. So you actually get put in touch with a detective, private investigator called John Blake, who will then be emailing you various bits of cases. He'll send you case files, and you have to help him solve the case by looking at all of them, researching, and solve the mystery alongside him, but by back and forth, kind of chatting to him by email, exploring things all over the internet. Most people, you could probably do it in a couple of days if you were really concerted. Most people take a week or two over the course of a couple of evenings. But that's the idea, is it's perfect, really. As I said, we launched it a few years ago, but we have modified it slightly to not need the post anymore, to be entirely email, because people can then play at their leisure at home.
So you email something out to me and my family, let's say, and it's a storyline, it's a scenario, and then we have to guess work out the first puzzle or from clues that you give us.
For example, so the very first part is usually he sends out a couple of case files, and he needs help. He's remembered somewhere back in his past that they seem linked. He can't remember. So he hasn't got the time to check. He'll send you them. You need to start looking through them and researching the case files and figure out what the link is. And it all kind of escalates from there, and it ends up with you saving the life of a young girl and, stopping the big bad guys over the course of email.
Yeah, that's interesting, and that's available on your website now, so people can actually purchase that on your website now, and do it for their families.
Yeah. So normally, whenever you purchase it, it starts within 24 hours of the purchase, and then the email's ready. They start pinging through, and then as you email back and forth, it just John Blake will respond, the detective.
And Mark, you mentioned that if I was committed to it, I could do it in 2 days, or I could take a week over it. So it's quite a long. It's a fairly detailed and it keeps you going entertains you for a long time.
Oh yeah, it's quite. So I think if you sat down and did it, you'd do it, like I say, in a day and a half to 2 days. If you did nothing but that, but the beauty of it is you can pick it up as and when you want. So you come home from work, you've got a couple of hours, you can do a bit. If you want to do it every evening for a week, that's absolutely fine. There's no limit. If it takes you 3 months, it doesn't matter. If you've only got 1 week, one night a month to do it, that's great. And it's quite a nice thing because you can do it as, if there's a couple of you or, a family in a house, you can kind of get the email and you all sit around in the room, do, via computer, or grab a computer each, or, grab your phones and do some research that way. So it can be quite collaborative. It's not designed for, say, a team of 6 like an escape room is, but 2 or 3 people can kind of do it together. We've had quite a few people actually playing separate houses, and they've been Zoom calling each other while they solve it.
Yeah, brilliant. And all these are bespoke. They're written by you and your business partner, Ben. Yeah, they
certainly are. Yeah. So Ben kind of does more of the thinking, writing side. I typically do more when we actually build the escape rooms, but the Rise and Water was one we came up together with. It's quite a nice collaborative process because I usually come up with these big grand ideas and say, oh, we should do this, and then Ben goes, oh no, calm down a minute. Let's try and figure out a bit more achievable. But he's definitely the one with the head for puzzles. I kind of do more of the room design but the aesthetic, I suppose, is what you call it.
So given the government advice so far, when do you hope to open both your sites in Exeter and Torquay then?
Well, currently, assuming the dates don't change, we're hoping for 1st of July. Restaurants are going back then, hopefully pubs. We are a smaller group, and it tends to be people who be together anyway, either a family group or a couple of friends who might see each other. But we think that's probably the best, being a non-essential service. We'll go back 1st of July. The rest of the world, pubs, restaurants, people will kind of back out into the world then. So it's a really good option for people to get together after lockdown.
Yes.
In smaller groups and just kind of see each other, and also have if they haven't had enough of being locked away already, they can get another hour out of us.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's an unusual concept. I've been locked away for 6 weeks. What are you going to go and do? Well, I'm just going to go and get locked in a room and see if I can get out.
Hopefully it'll be more adventurous.
About families. You were saying before we recorded that you get a lot of families coming along. Families who have been self-isolating are safe, aren't they? They're there together. If they get locked in the room and they go and do and have some fun, that's good. That's acceptable, isn't it? That's
exactly, very much so. And we can take anywhere between 2 and 6 people per room, but we'd never mix them. So if you booked as a team of 2, you play as a team of 2. We don't put you with strangers. We never did beforehand anyway. So it's whoever you book for. And as I was saying before, we actually shut. In those first few weeks, we were cleaning between teams. Sanitizing the rooms where possible. And we'll be doing that again as soon as we go back. So it's a relatively safe option in that way. It's not a difference between going out, a football match and seeing 30,000 people. You're only going to see the 4 or 5 people you go out with. So
yeah, no, great, fantastic. I think it's terribly interesting. I can't wait to take my daughter down there actually and some people and just experience it. I would urge people to go and look at your website because I was on your website this morning. It's a really exciting website. And just remind us of the web address for that.
So that would be www.redhousemysteries.co.uk. You can find us on Facebook as well. If you look for Red House Mysteries there, you'll find us on there. Obviously, it's a bit quiet at the moment. We normally post up team photos and what we're currently up to, which is a bit quiet at the moment.
Yeah.
And the website's got plenty of information. You can book directly straight on the website. We're also doing gift vouchers, which are valid for 12 months. And they're currently 10% discount. So the gift vouchers are discounted. They'll be valid from 12 months. From when lockdown ends. So, if you think, you might want one for a Christmas present or, you're just not sure when you'll be able to come, that's a really good way of getting it slightly cheaper.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, look, it's really, really good to talk to you, Mark. Just stay on the line and while I wrap up. So that's Red House Mysteries. That's Mark Nichols. You can order The Rising Water through their website, which you can play at home. Or hopefully, come the 1st of July, you can book and go to Torquay, go to Exeter, and take your family and get locked in a room. There you are then. So that's it. So I've got loads more videos coming up. I'm doing some more today, which will be posted on our website, dartmoorlinks.co.uk, and also on our Facebook pages. And next week we have a whole load of new and different interviews lined up as well. So there you go. So thanks very much for joining us, and we will see you again soon. Bye-bye.